Hello, everybody. Tom here. Just gonna work on Carpoon's lava splash today. When cars drop in the lava, I do have an animation that happens after. Let me bring that up. Here we go. So I have this, but I want this to happen after. And when the cars come in, just maybe a few particles or particles that will appear around this. And this week, I'm going to put on my seat cushion so I'm not super short. Or sit on it. This week, I tried setting a schedule of things to do. So I kept up with it yesterday. It's probably stuff will happen like with my brother coming, but I tried to take that into account. Yeah, but I'll show you what I did yesterday for the bridge art. That's the easy way to start. So there's a glow in the lava work, in the auto works. But yeah, I did the bridges that I had a placeholder art for before, kind of keeping with my idea of testing. And what else? Oh yeah, I added car headlights, but I'll just turn it on and we'll take a look. Car headlights are kind of funny because I have to decide between coming out of the googly eyes or the headlights on the car body itself. In the end, when the eyes are closed, I kind of have a glow around the car body, although I'll probably change that to ground effects. And for the googly eyes, when they're open, the lights come out of them. I'll have to change it too so it's only on the auto work so it doesn't appear on the other two levels. Although it does make the cars easier to see, which doesn't seem like a problem on my screen here or TVs, but when it's on my laptop with less contrast on the screen, like it's not that great of a screen, it's a lot harder to see the cars on the dark surface of the auto works. Oh, I'll turn down the sound for the stream. Anyway, this will be super productive, just myself. I'm thinking of doing another stream later in the week, either for Arco, Beastie Ball again, or Mario 3. I got a gold disc for Mooncat the other day in UFO 50. Highly enjoyed that. Such a unique experience that you might see on NES. So the other cars, probably the red lights would have to be tucked in a bit, but with these I just tried to make the graphics as fast as possible. I think a lot of times I'm too much of a perfectionist on them, and then they take too long. So, but those eyes are a bit off. But mostly I want to see how it goes, and maybe it's good enough until I have to change it later. Kind of running into the double sound bug a bit. I tried removing some of the stuff to make it better to see if it helped or just broke it further to a point where I could fix it. Now it really annoys me. Fortunately, with the settings here now, I can do that. So yeah, when that car drops in the lava, I want to add some particles for better splash effect and maybe a noise. And other than that, I'll probably fix the bridge today. And right now, these cars are going to this hot dog cart. I'll try to make it, if there's time, that it's one of the green crates from the helicopter that they go into and they're taken off. Yeah, these bridges are going the wrong way. I have to make it a parent object. Oh, and all these letters right now, that's from fixing the conveyor belts finally, where the speed that they move cars at is actually what it looks like. And I was just checking it. So I can probably turn that off for now. Okay. So starting off, let's turn off that debug text. It's supposed to snow today, but instead it rained. It's not quite cold enough yet. This is my handy script I made while working on, I think, stuff in the past. It's a bit different than the text I did while working on saving and loading. Enemy car, I'll do it quickly so they don't have headlights. I think I could probably actually move that here. But I forget if they're in some statement where it'll be like only if they're alive. Yeah, like if they're being drawn. So as a result, let's go deep within here. Really deep within here. This one where I'd put it on my vertical screen. Here are the headlights. Yeah, I guess it's just draw me equals true. So the problem is if it doesn't have this, all these variables won't be figured out yet, and it's going to complain. Yeah, I'll just leave it and scroll. Okay, so only if we want to get him that glow effect, I just changed the blending mode to this additive. Just like having linear dodge almost in Photoshop. So it's very easy, not too many shaders. So I'm going to just check if this is the AutoWorks level that's darker. The script I have. So we'll only get headlights from cars there. And for particles and lava splash, that's something I'll have to figure out. It's not quite as easy. I'll leave fixing the bridge for later. Oh, good afternoon, Oscar. So you said last week you finally went back to the U.S. after your vacation in the Dominican Republic. Had a blast and lots of fun. Well, that's great. Or a blast of fun. I'm assuming it was a long blast, but no, glad to hear you had a great vacation. I assume it was really good weather over there. And, you know, back in time for the holidays. Let me see too if I can open some of my what I did for a lava splash before. What I was considering. So I could draw the lava splash, but probably particles is going to be easier. Okay, you see Astrobot won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, that is. And they dedicated it. Was it a dedication? They kind of said thank you without saying Nintendo. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find a particle effect quickly here. We'll see. It's yeah, rain. That's easy. This kind of looks like it might be good. One thing I noticed in like a slow motion of Donkey Kong Country Returns, it is like 4 different billboards. Let's see what people are doing. It might depend too on what they are. And if we go to the GameMaker Marketplace and there's something like that that's free or only a few dollars, that'd be the quickest thing to do. Okay, like let's see. I've seen One Up Indie many times. This is more rain with little dots when the rain hits. That's interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, Oscar. Yeah, it's although Astrobot's very similar to Mario, but nice for that team that it won. This is kind of interesting particles. I still have yet to play it though. No, these explosions are pretty cool. That's like Carpoon exhaust without a fade out. Yeah, so Team Asobi is in Japan, although it seems like I guess there's a few people from across the world there. Like I think their producer director is French. But no, it's just kind of to see in a year where maybe a few could win it, although it did look like Shadow of the Erd Tree had a chance earlier, but that was subsided as the time went on. Because usually ones that win awards are more likely to later on. Blatro wasn't quite good enough to surpass Astrobot. Oh, and congrats on beating Mario and Luigi Brothership. Yeah, probably I played a few more games during vacation while traveling too, I found. Okay, there might be a few different types I can check and make. We'll see. Oh, okay. Well, enjoy Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. That's kind of a tough title to say. That's gonna take a while. So this particle for kind of an object splashing in water, it's not, doesn't seem to be one that people make so often. So I might just have to try and see. I'm basically envisioning, let me see if I can create it. So basically, it's just gonna hit when the object hits. We want to just probably have a line of motion like that. Like that, and probably it'll fade out and get smaller over time. So for Oscar Foot, I'm playing still, I guess. I'm playing UFO 50 still. And now I have to... I'm going to decide if I want to finish up a game I'm playing or play some more of a new game. It's always tough. I might do another stream later this week just for playing a game. Kind of like what I did last week. Let's move this here. Okay, well, also with the cars, I can't open up when they create a splash. That'll be handy, although I can just test something creating a splash for a long time. Do one last quick check on the GameMaker marketplace. Which is really old and not kept up well. Splash. So you need a true water splash. That's probably not what I want. Oh yeah, it's just fluid. That's almost too good. This is like Pixel Junk Shooter. It's pretty cool though. I think a lot of it's probably more like these fire and smoke effects. Well, this is kind of neat. You can test out particles. It's really old though. It might be quicker. I'll save that in case I run into a problem. Easy cheat to find it too is to just find where this is being created. Right now it's like only, what, it's 8 days until Christmas. It does not feel like it, so I should put up the Christmas tree today. Eight days till Carpoon launches. That would be something. More games this year. We're coming out very close to December. But no, hey, HBR Shredder, how's it going? Are you all ready for Christmas? My family all doesn't want anything, so I kind of have like the torn thing. Do I have to get him something else, or I just do nothing? And going well, and I am, and I am, and I'm not. Okay, yeah. It's always a few things to do. My brother is coming tomorrow, so I'm hoping I can convince him to once again play a lot of a 2-player game of Mario 3. And we'll see how far we can make it through. We'll probably warp this time. Last time we didn't warp. And then he got tuckered out too early. So I kind of did a mistake maybe of trying to do that TikTok for Carpoon, and I spent way too much time on it. I wonder, I don't even know if I have it, because I did an effect for it that could be in the game, and I was like, I should have just updated, spent time updating the Steam page. So that's kind of my mistake. But it was something on the back burner for a long time, and now it's done. So it's back to important stuff. What did you think of the new co-op Elden Ring? I could kind of see that going two ways, because it's like a shorter play session, but you don't set up your character. You just kind of get a character, I believe. Looked like rehashed slop. Yeah, I kind of thought, like, at first it's like, oh, it's kind of exciting, but then it's like, I looked into it and like this, it's not like the same experience I had with Dark Souls. So it seems more like getting a different target audience, and it is like what they said though. They wouldn't try to make a new, huge, bigger game. They try to make a smaller game. So they did that by not making a smaller game of what they did, but I don't know, what is it, taking a sidestep to some other genre. So yeah, we can, I'll just look forward to playing Dark Souls 2 or some other older Souls game with you. The Game Awards itself was pretty good this year compared to previous years, probably thanks to listening to Kyle Bosman more, but they did get rid of the whole future class. I don't think they'll probably bring that back. So we'll see. But it was an improvement. Okay, I'm trying to just see if I can figure out this effect just to show it, because it is pretty funny. Oh, and I finally got a gold disc in UFO 50, but no cherry yet for Mooncat. I might play that later today at the end, depending on how it's going. But or just save it for later in the week. Because Mooncat has 3 endings, I found out. But I think I enjoyed that single player experience the most so far in UFO 50 compared to everything. Just the most kind of mystery and wonder. It's closest to a Metroid like game and that kind of earlier NES era. Really well done. Like there's apparently warps in it. I have not found one yet. But with 2 buttons, you can like run fast. You can do that kind of butt stump jump. They do a lot with it. I think you can cancel out of a jump. I'm not sure if like there might be a secret way to double jump. That's something I'm going to look into. Now with streaming, it's like my eyes are just glossing over on where this thing was that I made. Here it is. There it is. We'll see. This will just be, this is what, for anyone looking later, this will be what I spent too much time on making for a Carpoon TikTok. That did not do well. It actually did worse than the other ones. So I would say probably less effort is better for a game TikTok. Yeah, I think this is what we want. So let's see. Hopefully it doesn't crash. So here are cars. And the joke made by COVID in the Carpoon Discord. Join the Carpoon Discord today. I need to punch out a GIF of that. So I'll get one more car. No, I think cars spawn when I do this. Okay. So I think, yeah, I can reel around here. The joke is you heal faster and then a portal appears. And it doesn't end though, because I just cut out the TikTok. I could probably create another portal. I don't know what would happen, and all the cars get sucked up inside and ended. So that was probably too much work for this, and the sound effect for the portal was just me going like. I just recorded that a bunch of times because I was lazy, and it worked perfectly. So I was debating on keeping that portal in the game or not. As maybe like a power up you could get. Maybe you could end overtime or something. But yeah, it took like 2 days. 2 days, so it really threw me off. I'll do it one more time. Also, the acceleration was way more for the TikTok. It's supposed to be like a longer build up to a higher speed, but I limited it out. So later today, I could work a bit on having a bit of deceleration. Like right now, you stop instantly after a grapple turn, and that way, if you're like fleeing someone and grappling around corners, you'll be going a bit faster, kind of like the Pac-Man Championship Edition, grinding corners. The surfboards will eventually get there. You can make it, surfboards. Yeah, it speeds up after a certain range. Anyway. So those steam effects are kind of particles. I might be able to repurpose that. Just see how it goes. So I think the easiest thing to do here is just grab some particles, try to make a lava splash. I think these, it's probably named steam, but something in lava also just creates them in random spots. Okay. My naming convention of exhaust pillar steam is for this thing. Does this create particles? Something neat I found out this week is that Balatro uses a game engine called Love 2D, which also Arco used, and the game Move or Die used. I had never, maybe only vaguely heard of this engine. So yeah, that's kind of surprising. Yeah, it's I think it's a smaller one, but a few creators have used it, and I don't know why. I think the reason he used it is to avoid all the it's like a simpler engine, and it doesn't have as much, like it doesn't have a million features like Unity and Unreal. So it's at love2d.org, and I think it uses Lua. Yeah, 2D games in Lua is what it's for. And yeah, here are some games it used. Oh My Giraffe, a delightful game of survival. I'm tempted to try that. Gravity Circuit's pretty new. Yeah, so you want to make 3D games, you would be Godot or Unity or Unreal. So Godot being entirely free, but still changing over time. Well, yeah, there's lots of open source stuff for Godot. I'm thinking in January, I'll probably just try to make a small mini game in Godot as a side project, or just to see how it's like. You'd like to make your own engine, but it seems like a waste of time, sadly. Well, it depends on your goals, but probably not the best when you want to explore more game design. Like I will say with Unity and Unreal, probably they have a lot more free assets to prototype with, but I think you can probably grab assets anywhere. Oh yeah, this game, oh, it's an app store game. Oh. But it has a gripping combo system. I think the funniest engine story is how Jonathan Blow and his team made a new engine for The Witness, and you think they would use it again, but no. They created a whole new programming language and working on a new engine again. And it's too bad for them. The new Braid collection didn't do well, or like the anniversary edition. Yeah, like you do hear, yeah, he's cool half the time and really stubborn the other half. It's very true. But I only heard about Indy making Billy Basso with Animal Well, and you hear more with like larger ones that will lose money potentially on royalties, like Yacht Club having their own engine. And then you hear like really big companies like Platinum having their own engine for some reason. But they have their own other problems now, it seems like, with people leaving the studio. Yeah, if I have a company really in our own engine, sure. Yeah, it makes sense. Like you have multiple projects. Man, it's something tailored to what you want. I can feel Unreal stank in all Unreal games. It certainly has a look to it, doesn't it? I think I was seeing a video, I saw just one pop up about why do Unreal games all have that look to them? And it's very hard to undo that look, is my guess. But then you have games like, what was it, Guilty Gear, and that's made Unreal. So it is possible, just difficult. How are your projects coming along? Did you have one more member type video before your next big video, or are you thinking of doing more streams but on Twitch? Which does make me think about finding that option not to list my live streams if I do more than one a week. Second member video is a how it's made video. Well, excellent. That's what I'll enjoy watching. I still also have my thumbnail video script that I chip away at from time to time, but I figure if I do want to try to finish the bulk of Carpoon content this year, I kind of have to work on Carpoon, and I can just do the thumbnail script in January. Because there's not too many days left. Okay, excellent working on your Doki script today. Oh, you have filming done last night. Oh, that's great. Filming and script writing, that's good. Yeah, I've just been trying to push along a few goals, which is, I guess, easy for me. Not having full-time work, so I have no excuses. Yeah, but if I do have a chance with my brother, if I can convince him to stream Mario 3, I want to do that. If not, I'm either debating between more Beastie Ball or taking a look at Arco, which is a underrated indie game this year, or more UFO 50. Yeah, Mario 3 is always big for me. I love playing it around Christmas again, so hopefully I get my brother to play it with me. If not, I might just do it myself. But I might wait till after he visits, though, because playing through the whole thing is many hours, and he's visiting just until Christmas. Don't worry. Okay, don't worry about listening to my streams. That's the main content here. Yeah, it's true. Maybe I meant like if I have more than one a week, and something I'll think about more when I have more videos. So this object, the pillar has a broken base object and the top, which kind of hid it for me where it is. This is where it pushes out steam. I could maybe... I don't think this quite works because the steam, when I'll show you when I hit the pillar, this kind of just goes straight out. Carpoon compiling still relatively fast, fortunately. Something a bit off when I start moving the car before it has taken in player input. The rotation's a bit weird at first. I might have to spin it just to get rid of that. Oh shoot, I have to turn off the portal again it was creating there. So on the steam pillar, that's all particles coming out. But it's not quite a splash effect. Let's see what happens when I break it. Maybe the explosion would be good enough for a splash. Oh, I pushed myself into the waterfall. That was kind of weak. These cars exploding... Oh, I must have toned down the number of particles it breaks into. Yeah. At one point I was worried about the number of objects in this level, but I was actually creating too many of them when the conveyor belts were being created, and that was causing a memory leak and slowing down the level over time. Mostly on my laptop, not so much on my main machine, because that just takes way longer. Oh yeah, and I fixed all the edges again, just so this level was more in shippable shape. Okay. So I need a particle system that the particle almost has gravity to it. No, I don't want the new manual. It's probably no difference. Let's take a quick look at that. A quick example. Is there something you can create particles with now? That would be a handy tool. It's like sometimes GameMaker creates these tools, and if you don't see every single update, you miss it. All right. Okay. This is a neat find. Let's see how to get to the particle system editor. It's probably a tool. Nope. This is a neat find if I can find if I can see where it is. Okay, let's see the Sarah Spalding video, show where it is. Okay, it's 2023. So yeah, I can see why I missed that.
Particle editor, where you can much more easily design particle effects. This editor operates on the exact same underlying system as particles always have.
How do I get to it?
But where you would before need to encode all the colors, numbers, and settings for particle type, emitter, and system with way too many lines of GML, no way to preview what the
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
game. You can now actually make a particle system asset and design.
This is way more fun.
You can put these into your rooms. You can then also make little adjustments to the individual instances. You can choose effects at runtime and also use them in sequences. You're only limited in terms of how interchangeably you can work with visually designed systems and GML devices. Particle system assets is the whole particle system you can't access or modify.
Welcome back. I found there's now a particle editor in GameMaker that should make this easier. Oh my god. This might also be handy for my double music bug. But now we're just trying to find out where is this particle editor. Oh god, I didn't want to save a search. Oh yeah, you can create a particle system. S lava splash. So I used that already. I'm gonna call it P lava splash. So I'm in it now, but I have to figure out where all the settings are. Does seem a lot better than fiddling around with something a million times. So this, you can just copy the code and put it in. Okay, here we go. And that opens up a little window in a not the best spot. I could, no, what's explosion? I was considering drawing little bits of water. Since we were talking about the Game Awards, was there any announcements that did excite you, though? I can see a lot of people getting potentially excited for Okami and Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, especially being published by .emu and being done by the developer of Blasphemous. Here's gravity. Whoa, that's too much gravity. This is, I'll zoom in. It's getting more promising already. We can mix up the life of this. See if this color, yeah, this color is probably going to be what it turns to over time. For that information I found out earlier, though, about the Blatro game and the engine he used in is in a podcast, and he was saying how Blatro at first was just a game he was making for him and his friends to play Big Two against each other online, like a variant of it. And then 2 weeks in, he's like, I want to change it. So originally, though, it just was for his friends to play it, and he gave a link to his friends to try out the demo. He didn't hear back from them, but then he talked to one of them in person a bit later, and his friend said, "Oh yeah, I played it for 40 hours." So then he kind of knew he was onto something. I want this to be a bit slower. I'll probably change the force that it's being created at. I'm guessing it's probably going to go yellow, orange, red. I don't like this color picker. There we go. Oh, that's pretty cool. This is gonna... With this, though, I can quickly create probably 2 sets of particles. I can put these particles in front of my other one. It's a bit too yellow right now. It's way better with additive on. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay. Well, there's the video game effect. I'll try adding a shape after. Sure, that one's pretty good. I think, yeah, actually I don't have to. That spear, that works perfectly. Oh, can I do a... Well, that's super weird with the negatives. Yeah, that's looking nice. Thank you, yeah. This is just makes the iteration process a million times quicker than what would have been me compiling, even with I had GameMaker Live working to test it out. I kind of wanted 0.1. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do 0.1. I don't know the actual scale in the game, but we'll see. What's it like with some wiggle? That's too much wiggle. You can increment. Whoa, that's just a nuclear bomb going off. I like how they add a lerp to transition to it. And if I make the maximum bigger. That looks more like liquid, but I don't think I really want that. I'll just do 1. Okay. I want it to be slower. And also, it's living... Some of it is lasting too long. I'm going to have to lower the lifespan. This is with more gravity. It's not... Okay, here we can get a splash effect going, pushing it side to side. Maybe. No, that's not really working as it should. I would kind of expect going side to side. It's just going to the minimum angle. I wanted to push out. This will be for how much it spins. Okay, and yeah, you can have, for subparticles, you can have, like, if rain hits the ground, you can have it, like, the little splash off the ground, too. Yeah, the only thing that's not quite doing here, I wanted it so it fans out. And if it's a splash, it should almost be quicker. This is changing when it's coming, appearing every second. That's not quite what I was going for. I want like a burst. This might do it. It's probably more for where it's creating from. This is more... Maybe this point's smaller. Okay, now I have a more focused point. I just have to see if the particles will... Oh, here's burst. Here we go. How many in a burst? 100. That's too many at once. I think I'm just going to run this and stop it. And I'll try a burst in game. I'll see how it goes. It's weird how the life is longer. Sometimes if you had like it has speed, but it doesn't have much direction stuff in it. So yeah, it's a min and max, but you're not. It's not really doing what I want. It's now if I rotate it around to 180, that might work. Okay, I see how you're gonna play this. There. That's pretty close. I'll do 1 and 3 now. Yeah, I think this, if it was going up higher, that'd be nice. Maybe if gravity was less. might be too floaty. Well, that's way too fast. No, I'm loving this particle editor so far. This is kind of like the feeling that I want, but I'd want it to go up higher and then down. That would mean a bigger initial speed. Probably the lifespan is a bit less. And the maximum speed is a bit less. These directions, if I pull it in a bit, well, we'll try that. I'm going to save now before I lose all of it. And I think with the audio loop points, what's reversed? Like, I see no difference. Now, quickly to see if I don't have to do any programming for it, we'll try burst one more time. And if we had a bit of delay, it might change how it all appears. That's pretty close. It has to fade out. It can't just die like that. Let's try 0.2. So some of the particles could live longer as yellow. They kind of become dark red too long. Oh, I got the minimum lifespan longer than the max. Again, that could be doing it. I kind of want it to fade out, but it's not doing that. Like it looks, that's obviously too much of the stream. It would be like, I see it's kind of, it's like they're not disappearing. There is an option in particles to make it disappear. Like an alpha. I can always put that in myself if I can't do it here. Yeah, it's just do this and make it go to 0 at the end. Let's put that into the game, see how it is before tweaking it any further. What did I call it? Yes, lava. Try to make it so I can find it again later. Oh, that's bad. I think it was P lava splash. Looks okay there. I could quickly make a couple of them and I could just choose a random one, but hopefully when it's in game it's a little random. Try to put this into a script. Maybe I can use it again, other things, or just easier. Sometimes particle systems need to be their own objects, so it gets a bit tough. We'll see. Oh, I didn't copy it. So yeah, this is everything that I could have done by myself. And it put the alpha in. Anyway, so there, it'll turn to 0 at the end. And we'll see how hard this crash is in the game. I'm expecting it to crash. I'm expecting it to say, hey, what are you doing? You can't make that here in a script. Also, I wonder if it'll become like a memory leak. It's going to be interesting when there's a couple of them at once. And we'll see if the headlight if statement is working. I did not see the splash there when that car dropped, so I might have put it in the wrong place. It might also only be when the car is dropped over a jump. Yeah, I should have shown the belts when they were stationary, but they don't move the car now. I wonder if it's a depth issue, like the particles are being created below it. Like if I hop in there, I want the particles to be created. I'm gonna take a look. think part of it too, sometimes particles, they need to be drawn. So I might be creating them, but it's not drawing them. I'll create an object for this. I wonder how many times in the past I've been so close to making something work in a game, but didn't know how to figure it out and like gave up, or maybe came back to it later and it was so easy. Yeah, this position's weird. It could be making it, it's probably making it in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna try that first. Hopefully the car's not deleted yet, but yeah, it's just drawing it at the room height and the width divided by 2. I'm sure it has to be drawn first, but we'll see. Because I haven't used that yet. That could be one of the funny things about it. Let's turn off that portal before I forget it forever too. It's gone. No, it's in there somewhere. Here it is. Okay, they were behind the particles. That's good at least. I saw them. They're kind of small. They might have to be bigger. But not... They're not when a claw drops it in. Let's see. Headlights, yeah! Hey, yeah, Andre, how's it going? Yeah, I added them in because on my laptop it's dark. See? So now they're more visible on this. Yeah, and Andre, we got Hayden in here. Is that the GX? Hayden was on our pipeline one time and brought the air horn. So yeah, headlights are the new feature I just added yesterday to make this more visible on dark screens and in general. So the thing is, so when the eyes are closed, the headlights can't be on. So I'm probably going to do ground effects then. And yeah, that bridge is going the wrong way. Oh yeah, I see your message to check later too, but oh yeah, this is me. I think the reason why I do these streams more than anything is just to show that anyone can make a game. Oh yeah, no, he didn't add a message. I hope the Donkey Kong video is coming along well. Oh yeah, the headlights too. I was considering if when the cars are like in the lava, if the headlights be beaming upwards from the eyes, I have that turned off for now. That would be pretty easy to do. I don't have to do one frame and flip it. Yeah. So the camera is the biggest. Okay, I'll try that then. I'll try the headlights because it is pretty hilarious. The camera remains probably the biggest issue in this level, or that when I was playing on Steam Deck with some friends, when it's a smaller resolution with multiplayer, it's not good. Oh, you got analog super NT, nice. Andre also, he had given me one of those one time, so I am very fortunate to have that as my one analog pocket thing. Or analog. People are hating on the first Donkey Kong Country. I don't understand that. Maybe they just... Oh, there's Siren. Maybe they just assume the second one is better. Yeah, the commentators. No, that was the one I played the most as a kid. I love it. You have more variety too with Donkey Kong and Diddy. Like Dixie and Diddy are kind of close, but Dixie flies to make it easier. Maybe it's just too hard these days, like where you see Nintendo adding in all the extra lives and stuff in returns. Just stop hating for Tears of the Kingdom. They're coming for me. No, that's in 20 years. In 20 years, they'll be coming for you. But there could be some remaster at that point where it's like, hey, we fixed everything. I wonder if I'll go back and beat Tears of the Kingdom. I'll see. Your days are numbered. Oh. Yeah. Whoop. Yeah, so I have to get these particles appearing in front of that giant lava splash, and maybe change the scale. That lava splash though is to block players following you. Like if you drop a car and you run to that lava splash, it'll stop them, and it's so they get stuck in lava. There's got to be an easy way to scale this. I don't want to play with a million numbers. I think if it's just twice as big. That's the saying in game dev. Like, don't do a little bit, just like go twice as much. That'd be like 50 times as much, not that. Well, it seems different now when I do that. Take a quick look. And yes, in your Tears of the Kingdom video essay will be quite something if you decide to make that at some point. I guess it's the same. Unless this is the particle scale. So, if I'm planning to do a small project in Godot in January, does that mean Carpoon will be out by then? So, I'm trying to get all the content done for Carpoon. And then that'll give me time to prepare the trailer and different, like, any financial stuff for the Steam launch. And maybe plan any, I don't know, marketing that I want to do for it, any extra. And so doing a Godot project would be like a small break from development. Like my Godot project might be a recreation of my WarioWare DIY game in Godot. Like it might be that simple just to get the hang of it. Because even doing something like Pong at first in a new game platform can be tricky, figuring out just how everything interacts with each other. Pretty much like if you get keyboard movement for an object, that's like step one. Step two is like having something collide and cause feedback with another object. That's step 2. If you do those 2 things, then at that point pretty much anything's possible, because you'll have something on the screen and you'll have things moving with each other. Yeah, so and I think just doing that in Godot, it makes it that much easier to do any bigger project after. I just thought it'd be neat to see what it's like, especially if I do like Global Game Jam in January, because we might be using Godot in that. And that's the thing too. I wanted, after the main bulk of Carpoon is done, while working on a Carpoon expansion, which is mostly the monster truck boss, to have, try more smaller game projects. Okay, well, glad your plan is to get in and start super small as well. I was talking to one person in the Carpoon Discord, and they like plan out a huge project. I'm like, just do Pong and a WarioWare type minigame first. You'll find that hard enough to begin with, or it just makes it easier to get project progress and feedback from other people. Okay, I think we have to save this again. Now, if I put this in another object, the depth can be different, I think. Also, I could put it in the lava splash, and that would work. I gotta save the new position at the end and the fade out transparency I did. Yeah, I took a look at in your message. That is quite the setup as usual. I'll have to see how much space I have in February, but I'll have to create a new setup again. Okay. So this script, we don't want wherever I put it as my eyes glaze over. It can probably go, might be able to put in this one. It draws it. I don't want to do that every frame. I think it's going to end up behind again. Maybe not, but I'm going to try it because that's the easy way. Wow, that was a great find, finding that particle system editor. That saved me probably literally 1 to 2 hours. But that's kind of like the headlights. I just wanted to slap something in there, put it in, because when the game's in motion, you don't actually notice it that much. I was going through the Game Explained Donkey Kong analysis video and like seeing the particles in slow motion. It did give me some ideas for how they do it and for better ripple effects. And there's that error I was expecting last time. Oh, okay, because I moved it to the I moved it to a non-physics object, but I was using the physics X and Y position. I don't even know why those numbers are different. Although thinking about it, if I knew how they were different, maybe that would be the secret to getting height with the cars, especially if it had a Z depth value. Try this. And then maybe we'll draw the hilarious headlights for them in lava. The cars in lava. Something fun we've been working on too is that someone on the Carpoon Discord wanted to draw some stickers just as a project in general. So even though I do all the Carpoon art, they're trying to do Carpoon stickers right now, so they can kind of learn about the process. So I think that's a fun thing to have. Although you do want people to buy them, even if you had some stickers to hand out. Like if you see 50 games or even 10 games in an event, trying to remember one can be tricky if you're not writing them down, which is pretty much 100% of all people. It's like I remembered that game, The Art of Reflection, somehow, but I wrote it down. Okay, I didn't see the splash there. We'll see. The tail lights on the cars are bugging me a bit, but I'll probably just have to leave them in there to tweak later. Yeah, something I'll have to try to put into motion this week too is having more cars at each wave. So right now they all flee when that little pie chart or clock runs at a time. I could make it so each car has a set amount of time it waits before fleeing, so they're different, along with more cars coming in different waves during a wave, like a subwave. Yeah, that's behind again. It needs to be when the car hits the lava immediately, before the splash. The splash is like kind of like when it hits, there's that doom, and then the splash, or when they explode. I wonder how I can change that timing. Yes, the splash has to be, maybe it won't matter in the depth if I do that. So right when they hit the lava, if I was really clever with the cars, they could follow a sine wave or something and do a little doom with that splash. So maybe I'll try that. That'll be the tricky part. It's like someone wanted more claw feedback earlier too when a car grabs it. But fortunately not a huge amount of feedback. Oh, what was it? I forget what I... No, I think Andre had suggested something, and I did change that in the game. I'm trying to think what it was. Was it in Parking Panic? I think it was that more frames of animation in the geyser. That was one of them. So that there, I can modify what I just made too and have some particles coming out, although it might look too good. Yeah, and I matched all the sidewalks to be blue. So there is some more stuff I could put in the corners here, but that's kind of like bonus gravy content. And like if these would destroy over time. Okay, well let's move that splash ahead and see how it looks. It still almost looks too small. I might change the scale, which I can do pretty easily, I think, inside. Oh yeah, this is how the headlights work. I just draw a car without anything, and then I just match the frame. These could look a bit better if I did more Gaussian blur on them instead of such a strong spotlight effect. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, so this is when the car blows up. We want to, at the immediate point when it's in lava, which is probably here. Now, if I put it here, it's going to create like a million. It's going to create the particle effect a million times, I think. So I think if we say, I can create another variable for this, but probably have seconds on fire as 0. I don't think I'll have created it yet. And that might work. Now the dip, we'll see after. The dip, like I could just create another, like sometimes it's easier like stacking, stacking vectors together. Like it would be easier if I just add it to the player position instead of create its own variable, then add it after instead of just adding it to the position immediately. That's probably what I'm going to do there. And just add 2 vectors together. Let's see. I should, I can change. Well, that wasn't too big. Unfortunately, I'd like a bit more oomph to that splash. I'll update the bridges just to be open at first. I'll change the wave number. No, wait. I think it might be as the waves go on that it does that. Okay, it has to be in front of the car. It's not the same if it's behind it. I didn't want that. That's my not so accurate collision detection. And that time it had already heated up, I guess. So it was still 0. Yeah, so if it touches, it would need like a small cooldown timer, or I'll just check the minimum amount that is showing up as, and that should be fine. Maybe the alpha doesn't have to go to 0. It's like blending in too well with it, so probably not having 0 is okay. So make it in front of the car. Bigger effect. Or is this 0? We'll try 0.5. We'll meet it halfway. The main thing, it just has to be taller. So we'll just bump it up by 1. Maybe I should have doubled it. I'm being chicken by not doubling it. Okay, now the life has to be a bit longer. Sometimes you can add wiggle to it and change the X and Y scale, and that'll give it an odd shape. Okay, try 70. There's probably a hidden option to play on every change. Little longer. But now, because I made it faster, it's like gravity has to be higher. That wiggle's pretty pretty weird, but some will help it. Perfect with the making the speed go up. That's if you destroy the final boss in Carpoon. Yeah, fine. I do have 3 boss ideas. One of them based off a Zelda boss, so that's all. It's all for the expansion. Oh, I want to burst. Oh yeah, definitely do that, but thank you for boosting the algorithm. No. Yeah. It's I always appreciate you dropping by. So thank you very much. Okay, we're gonna move this to an object. Get in front of the car. See how it looks. And also I can add this to the trucks when they're dropped in. We'll see how it goes. I'm tempted to print the seconds there on fire to see what it's going to the message. But that's going to show up for a whole bunch of things. Maybe to the player I'll do that. Get a better idea. I'll try this for now. Nope. Saturday just won for Gartic Phone this weekend for group drawing in the Carpoon Discord. It's going to be 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern again. So this is showing up behind it. Let's say, we'll say draw splash particles equals true or something. I have so many alarm timers that it'd be super easy to create an alarm and have the time, like if it runs out for a cooldown timer, to draw splash particles again. But I'll have to just remember the time it happened and kind of wait a little bit as a variable. Or if I did create it, and then it could check if it had that object or not, and it deleted itself if it made it again. Okay. True. And then I'll just turn this to off after. Probably everything will need this now, so I'll put it in the parent vehicle object. What's one more variable for everything at this point? Okay, so I'll put it here and I'll draw it in front of the car at the very end of everything. I guess if I was smart, I could put it in a vehicle. I want to change this to a visual style, then I can add all the little sections to it. You can do region and end region, but this is easier. Draw, okay. Probably have to add this into the player separately, though. I think the player does it. I think it doesn't override this, or it does override it, so it doesn't use it. take a look at how that's looking now. It'd be very easy to add the cars having smoke and that turning to black smoke in the lab at this point. It's a little bit slow. Doesn't quite have the right weight to it. Yeah, if it could only be a little bit quicker. And, of course, have that cooldown. Let's see. He's almost too fast now. He's trying to get to the hot dog cart. Yeah, the player doesn't have it yet, so I'll add that in. Okay, let's see here. I gotta... I have to see what the seconds on fire is before I go back to it. This might be a little bit tricky. Live! Yeah, it's gonna be easier if I just do it on a player truck. I think there it might have been cutting off because the player died and it stopped drawing it. So I might have to create a different object for it, unfortunately. It is kind of ending a bit too soon. It does look more like a splash now, though. And I think it's going too far out. I'll just tighten up the radius that I can shoot at. There we go. That is extremely handy. take this tool that I have called a calendar. I use instead of a Google Calendar for some things. So today, what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm supposed to have this lava splash done, and I'm supposed to have the crates in for escape. Crate cop. Let me see if I had the sort of Mega Man like copter, and it's just I had these. I was considering doing it a different way, but if cars could, if the copter could hold that in front of a jump and cars jump into it, that might be the most fun way to do it. Could do that later though. It's not as fun as the headlights. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is just create a object that'll make the particles, and then I don't have to worry about the car kind of like being deleted, then the particles just disappearing for the end of their cycle. I think like having a better sound effect would be neat with it, but I wonder what that's an old Photoshop. I wonder if they have something that can chip tone for that. It's kind of close. You want a whole bunch of attacks. You'd have to almost duplicate the sound. Zap has potential. Oh, I'll think about that after. So here, I probably don't need a draw event because it'll just draw itself automatically. We'll add an alarm. I'll say after 3 seconds, like even 4 seconds, just destroy itself. And all we have to do is run that script in the create event. We'll need a depth that will be drawing behind everything all over again. And here's where we'll set the alarm. I think these particles only last 4 seconds. Could be wrong. It doesn't matter. I could do 5. And now if I created this as if If I made a script to create this, I wouldn't have to redo it ever. I think there is a way to create an instance with depth. Is it? Yeah, there we go. That's an easy enough so I don't have to make a script. Depth minus 5. Yeah, the more negative number it is, the closer it is to the camera. And oh, lava, splash, particles. So that'll make it once. We'll copy this. Okay, I almost need another script. But I might have to create a few more variables. Put this in the player just for testing. Yeah, it won't let me do that. It'd be nice though. This is where everything starts closing in on itself in GameMaker, and you have to expand out. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see how it will likely crash. Yeah, that was fast. Yeah, okay, clearly the player does not. It overrides all the O vehicle kind of variables. I kept the player kind of separate than cars, which I don't know. I don't know if that was a good or a bad decision. It just probably made things harder in the end. Okay, didn't crash. We're one step ahead. That looked pretty good. A little slow, but it's better than before. Oh, the car, when it drives over that little gap, let's see if it's back to 0. No, it's not. Can only do it once. That's neat, though, to have this lava splash in between the bridge. Even if it doesn't hurt the player, it's like fake danger. Raises the stakes a little. They do need to happen when the claw drops it at the end. Okay, it looks like it gets to a negative number. So as long as it's less than or equal to 0, it should be fine. To show up more than once. I'll probably move up the depth a bit. I think the lava splash is happening in front of it. Oh yeah, I turned off all the glow effects. That kind of affects what it looks like too. Yeah, so if I add a little dip there at the end, I think that'll be pretty neat. We'll see what it looks like when the player jumps in. Because the particle size is the same. Oh, it didn't show it. Oh, there it is. Probably adjust that forever, but I'll try not to. We'll go in and change. Oh yeah, I guess if it is under 0, oh, I know what I'll do. So if it's less than or equal to 0, you want to draw it, but then to avoid doing it like a million times. No, I can't do that. It'll affect it. I guess I'll see what happens. Because it should add to it right away to get above 0 again. So that should fix the problem. So what we want now is that little dip when they're in the lava. Because right now, it's like the lava's... It's kind of like you want a bit more give to it. We want a car to like dip down, go up. And that should kind of counteract the splash effect. It's going to be... Oh, you can do it in frames. We'll see how we can do that, though. We basically only need reverse gravity. And if we do that, I'll just add in those headlights, and that should be pretty good for today. Close a few of the windows so it's a bit easier to focus. Yeah, pretty much every timer is used up, so I can't do that. Here's where it draws itself. Excuse me. I might just modify that variable because and add another vector. Adding the height itself could mess with a lot of different things in the game. I kind of only want a sine curve, and it gets smaller over time. So basically, I only want to go like whoop and stop. It doesn't have to keep going. Well, it would be nice if the cars dropped in to do it. We can just try if I drop them in for now. Okay, so We have to see a start point. Let's draw lava splash. Kinda is that start point? Anyway, I'll try it below this just to make it easier. I'll have to remember if it's in radians or degrees in GameMaker for sine. I'll have a okay, we'll just start at pi, and that way it can be going down if we add to it. Now this should be the starting point, then I'll have to lower these after. We'll see 20. That's kind of small. Let's try 30 pixels. So and this can decrease over time. This can increase over time, and it can just stop once it's done. That should make it like a smaller and smaller ripple, I think. There's got to be a lerp script to do one of these two. Let me try to bring that up. They're pretty handy. Yeah, it's Dave Tech Co. It's like the bounce. He has a lot of these scripts that you can use, but I never figured it out, I think. Yeah, we need kind of something like that, but it would end at the bottom. It's hard to visualize, but it's a powerful way to deal with it. GameMaker might have something to like edit paths in now. Like if I created a new path, I might be able to just draw what I want to do. Create too many points. See, doing that, that's pretty much what I want. It's 160 though, that might be too much, but we'll call this lava path. So let's see. Try it, and we have to get the position along it. And the X would have to be over time. I don't know, it's worth a try instead of although, like, I can add more randomness. Well, I guess I can add randomness to this too if I'm just getting a number, but yeah, let's try it. Let's try something new. Oh yeah, I can use the seconds on fire already too, so. And position. This will be probably way too big. Oh, I'm blind from a car passing by. Thank you, car. Or somebody using the remote control. We'll see if it does anything. It'll be interesting. Trying to figure out the best way to add this. Like there's an easy way, but could I just add a variable earlier on? This is one I don't I don't want to replace that, but I'll have to go back, I think. Okay, this is a shadow. It doesn't have height in it. Okay, let's go back and see. I think I just want to make sure I didn't overwrite the where that was being made. Yeah, that's okay still. We'll see what's broken later. Okay, we'll try this out. We'll see if the path does anything. It's kind of a neat way to have a lot more control over it. I don't know if the seconds on fire variable will be enough to go through the whole thing, or I'll go through way too quickly. This is that variable I was just making in the wrong spot. We'll put it down, try to find it. Because the line of code that it's at doesn't match up exactly right. It says it's at line 250. We'd have to count. So that's 19. So probably line 231. Nope. Well, I found it at least. Oh yeah, it's gonna find a ton of those. Oh, this one will have to change too. There will be a problem when it's hit by a car. Or hit by harpoon, I should say. Okay, this is line 222. Where did I create this one? Way earlier. It's only happening if the player's stuck in lava, though. I'm going to add it earlier, and then that's probably why it wasn't showing up. Let's see. Well, it worked. It's a bit quick. But I can edit the path. That's a good start. Yeah, I could just... I'll make it wider or divide by 2. Like, I can... Overall, it's better... Like, it's kind of happening too quickly and it's too much. I can divide in it, or I can just push everything. Whoa, not like that. Kind of eyeball everything by half. Yeah, I can go up over the surface a bit. Why not? And it's going to 448. Seems too fast. We'll go to 1,000. We'll see how that ends up. I think originally I said 30 pixels, and this is like, wait, what was 64? And we'll see. And this should be, try 32. Well, that might be around 16. And ideally end up in 0. There we go. Does it start on 0? Start at 0, 0 overall. Or just after it would be fine. Yeah, we'll try that. We'll try the headlights. Now the headlights, oh. The headlights should almost flicker, but I'll put them in, then it'll be time for lunch for me. Still a little fast and a little too big. I could probably like be slower towards the end. If I divide it. Yeah, I'll divide by 2. And we'll add the lights in. Okay. So most of the time is what we wanted. And drag it out a bit. Like you want it to slow down over time, I think. Or I do. Sometimes in these you can change the scale of only one axis. It doesn't look like that you can do it here. All right, now headlights. I'll have to grab a frame of the car when it's in that pose and just I'll put it there. And that should be pretty good for today for the stream. Okay. So here's kind of what it looks like. It's way smaller in actual size. We'll find what that is. Okay, it's about 100 by 88. And there's 2 frames to it. Okay, now we'll just... I'll save this in the headlights. And I'll grab what I had. I can probably reuse this. We'll make this way bigger. And we'll just... I'll modify where the start point is. $300, $300, sure. Yeah, this be this be a fun addition to the end of it. Well, do I have? I think I have one where it's split. But anyway, we'll see. Yeah, so we'll get the headlights going when it's in the lava. Let's duplicate this. Yeah, I think that one could be bigger. This one could be smaller. You can cheat with perspective, kind of make it smaller at the end. Now, what was I saying? I think I was saying earlier if I blurred it, it would look better. So I'll duplicate it. And I'm just going to... I almost just want it to be on the inside though, but I'll see what it's like overall. Yeah, that's... I think that's a bit smoother looking. Let's try that. No, Control Alt F. Okay, and no, that's okay. That's the second frame, and we have one for the first one too. I hate when Photoshop starts putting stuff windows behind windows. Yeah, well, but it could probably be a little more even. On this one, I'll have it rotating out more. Kind of match where the pupils are looking. It shouldn't be even, it should be kind of wild. Wow. There we go. Now I just have to save that, and it doesn't have to be nearly that tall. I think I was almost right for the width. I'll just save these two frames, and then I'll see if I can put it in, and we'll test it with the new bobbing effect for the car. Sometimes the hardest part becomes file management. Saving for web. When I have many different objects, I export it as a video and just kind of set the frame rate to 1 frame per second. Okay. And the middle of this car, as long as that kind of matches, I think down here. Yeah, we'll see how easy that is to add back in. Okay, headlights are still in here. Get some more space. I'm going to pop this out to this window, and we'll see. This is just easier for me in a vertical screen to find it. In theory. Nope. I can't even get the search box, so back here. Stuck. So this is when it's stuck in lava. We want that for these headlights. I'll just copy that and see if there's something else in there. Finally, eventually work our way down to the headlights. So put this in again. This is kind of stealing it from when it's in lava. Now I turn off no rumble rotation for the lights. That gets too distracting, although it might not matter there. We'll see if this crashes. So we'll see how the sploosh looks and the headlights now when they're in lava for panic. And a little shorter, but those are some fun things I thought it'd be good to work on stream. Like I should have done that portal from last week on stream. That would have been hilarious. That would have been better value for it. And all these effects I'll kind of have to make sure they work on other vehicles later. That's kind of more tedious. Okay, let's see when it drops. Still a little fast. That might be... That might be how the seconds on fire works itself. I didn't see the headlights there. So they're not showing up yet. The other headlights still work, at least. They're there. Oh, I bet the image index is totally weird. Hello, Oscar. Welcome back. I'm about to end, but no, that's important to hit the day program there. And yeah, we're pretty sure. Well, I guess like never. There's some sort of metaphor about never counting your chickens before they're hatched, but yeah, we are looking that there'll be a reveal of Switch 2 next year. You never know though, with some sort of shortage or like if the games aren't ready yet. But yeah, highly seems to be all signs currently are pointing towards that, with all the accessories seemingly leaking these days. Okay, maybe no, the image index I think probably changes. I think it just loops around when you go past it. Oh yeah, we only know... So you say the only thing we know is backwards compatibility and Nintendo Switch Online, and I think we know that they're going to announce it before their fiscal end of the year, I believe. That's interesting. I changed image alpha to 0 right after. That could be it. I don't know why, but probably not to draw any other effects. You say about there's still lots of rumors and leakers about Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, because everyone loves the unknown. It's fun to speculate. Or a game when it has hype is almost more valuable than when it's out in terms of gaining attention. It's just the way it is. The mystery. And I'll go back to that path and see if I can stretch it out even more. Annex is a code name for Nintendo Switch. Yeah. I forget if Switch 2 even had a code name. It might not have. Okay, I'm going to divide the seconds on fire by 2. And that's kind of easier here than the path. And we'll see how that works. That might be it. Yeah, Revolution was a Wii. Dolphin was GameCube. I forget what DS was, like if there's a Project Cafe or something like that. It always sucks when the code name is better than the final one, or you're like, oh, I just kind of wish it was the code name. That bob is a little bit too smooth, but I like it. See, I have to add it there at the end. They're just kind of exploding. I'll have to change how that works. It's a little quick too. They kind of explode before it looks like they hit the ground. But maybe when I'm filling on the claw one day I can do that. Oh, that's missing a variable. It's the top line ink was going across it. Okay, that image, the headlights are animating way too fast there. Okay, that one was going down because you get pulled down to the waterfall. Oh, the lights almost have to be bigger. They get caught in the lava splash, but that's okay. It's goofy as it should be. It almost looks like it's swimming now. It's like its arms trying to swim up to the surface. So your Oscar says your favorite announcement is the Kami 2 from the Game Awards and Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Yeah, Sonic Racing had a very short announcement, probably because Sega used a lot of it on other announcements, like the Yakuza Team project. And maybe the racing ones early on. But yeah, it's nice to know it's not just a mobile game. Okay, that light might have to be a bit lower, but let's see if I bring it over here. I'll have to record and look at it. But I feel like it's just slightly too high where the headlights are coming out. Oh, but there it is. Oscar and everyone, thank you for dropping by. I'm going to see if I have some other work to do now, or at least have lunch break. I could use a hot drink right now in this cold weather. It's a little too fast there. Let's see. Maybe if it doesn't animate. And okay, yeah, Kami 2 with Hideki Kamiya and his new development studio. There's a interview on Video Games Chronicle with Kamiya-san about that. He made a new studio, Clovers, because the previous Capcom studio was Clover. And I think they're very small, only about 20 people right now, but aiming to 70. I still have to read the interview. But it's kind of really unexpected that it happened. No, but thank you, Oscar. I hope you have a great week. Hope you enjoy Dragon Quest. And I'm going to hopefully play a couple games too, depending on how it goes, and maybe come back for a stream later. But with that, goodbye, everybody.